And we're back. It's your boy, Lorenzo Abatello, aka Modern Day Italian. We're over here at Eataly in downtown. We're gonna be hanging out with Dan Amatuzzi, wine director, and aspiring winemaker and somm, Yumi Ortiz. Today, we're gonna be talking about Italian wine. And what better place to do this over here than Eataly? Let's go learn about what makes each region so special and why the wines are different. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna take you from zero to hero with Italian wine, Italian food, and you're gonna be the hero of the office, hero of the family. The problem is, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every Easter, your family's gonna come to you because you're gonna know most about the wine. Big responsibility, big privilege, comes with the territory. You ready?
Let's do it then.
All right. For this one, we're in Friuli, Persco Le Vigne di Zamon, and we're drinking an indigenous grape called Refosco. So it's indigenous grape to Friuli. It's kind of edgy, it's kind of toothy. You know, it kind of drinks like Merlot. It has very soft, very silky tannins, but there's a little bit more acidity, a little bit more grip, a little more of a tingling in the back of your cheeks.
And Dan, what are we eating this with?
This is one of our farotto dishes with fresh mushrooms. A little bit of herbs, good fresh olive oil, a little bit of pancetta. So it's light.
General rule of thumb is that temperature really dictates the body of a wine. With Refosco coming from the Veneto region, you generally get a cooler, more aromatic type of wine just because of the temperature. Versus in the south, being warmer, you get a more deeper, heavier, and alcoholic wine.
You're from an Italian background, like what makes Italian wine so special?
And then it parlays into a very simple concept, is that it brings people together. You know, I mean, every memory that I have, that you have, that anyone has, is like, it's really not the wine that you had, it's where you were, what you were doing, the family that you had, the meal that you had. Like it contextualizes the human spirit and the human experience. That's why I really love it. And the beauty of these wines, the best thing about Italian wine, or any wine, but the best wines that I would drink, that I want to look for and ask for and recommend, are ones with high acidity. It's that little tingling you get in the back of your cheeks, and that's really what makes wines food friendly, because they cut through. The acidity is what cuts through, like the richness of the mushrooms, the texture of the faro, the fats of the pancetta. Like
acidity with wine. What does that even mean, though? Think about drinking lemonade for a second, and that pucker your lips sensation that it gives you. Wine's really similar. And when you add food to the mix, that's that complementary factor that brings a meal to the next level.
Let's taste, let's see.
Vai, mangi.
So for everyone out there, you want to try something a little different than the normal.
You gotta mix it up. You gotta keep it fresh. Chianti. Kick it around. Refosco, Pignolo. The thing is, they all end in a vowel, so you just have to say, yo, and everyone knows what you're talking about. You'll be good. And use your hands. Forget about it.
On to the next one. Expensive, but
so Italian. It's like, what? It's like from The Simpsons, you know? Oh, we have food? Oh, more food. I love this place. You walk around, there's
Yumi's
food
back.
and wine.
You got, what do you got? What do you got?
Mirafiore, Dolcetto d'Alba, also family wine as well.
It's one of our leading properties, yes.
For our next region, we'll be heading over to one of the premier winemaking areas in Italy, Piedmont. Having visited several times with family in Torino, I can tell you that this place is amazing.
Dolcetto is very lighter on the palate. Also, like Refosco is a welcoming wine. I think Dolcetto is a crowd pleaser. It really goes very well with the tagliatelle. And Mirafiore also is a historical winery as well. Yeah, so I think Piedmont to me is very special.
So this is one of our signature dishes in pizza pasta. Our pizza pasta restaurants also signify one of the core principles of Italian food, which is like tomato sauce and dough. And then it's transformed into beautiful pizzas and pastas.
Over time, as a wine ages, it starts to lose its intensity and the fruits and certain flavors that it once had at a younger state. When pairing it with tomato sauce, like tomato sauce couldn't get any better, it unleashes a whole new flavor profile that it never had. Take this tip by MDI. on your next Sunday sauce. And pair it with an older wine from Piedmont.
So, I mean, one thing that you do when you first taste it's wine or Italian wine or any wine, but you just kind of like want to look at it in the glass. Just think about like, wow, does this look like a light wine or a full-bodied wine? Sometimes the color really kind of helps dictate what kind of intensity you're getting into. When you swirl the wine, it helps release the aromas. It's kind of like shaking orange juice. It just kind of gets it ready to go. Oxygen is our friend in this case. So when a wine is in the bottle with the cork, you know, it's like suffocating. It's asphyxiating, you know. So it just needs a little bit of air. Taste the wine. You swirl the wine. Give it a smell. Just think about what you're smelling.
Yeah.
You know, you only got to get complex. But if it's like it's fruity, the thing you just want to go one step farther. Like what kind of fruit?
Right.
You know, just like get your mind thinking more. Just like because a lot of people they stop with wine. They say it's fruity, it's dry. I like it. But like when you challenge yourself just a little bit, that's where you open up a whole new world of possibilities with wine.
You can't go wrong with this dish over here.
There you go.
I don't want to get dirty.
There you go. Look at that.
Buono.
Buono. That's what you're doing. When your mouth is full of food and the dish is so good you can't speak, it's impolite, you just go.
Yeah, they're gonna eat my bib again.
So if you want to sit at a table for Italian dinner, not talk to anybody, do this all day. It'll be fine.
What is that?
Buono.
You're doing a good job here with this one.
Oh my goodness gracious.
This is great.
This is great.
This is delicious. Are you excited?
We got our next stop, so of course I am.
Let's check it out. Voila.
Ah.
So, Campania is kind of where
Wait, Dan. Campania is my region, and I'd love to expand on what makes it so special. As you head down the Italian peninsula, the soil content begins to change. We have volcanic soil, thanks to places like Mount Vesuvius, which gives it the perfect terroir for grapes that love to grow in warmer weather. All right, back to you, Dan. Tell us a real cool story about Aglianico.
And a good story about Aglianico is if you're in Campania, you think that Aglianico came around the southern tip of Italy and landed in Campania. However, do not tell that story in Basilicata. Because on the eastern side of Italy, in Basilicata, they think Aglianico came through Basilicata first and then went to Campania.
Everyone's got their story.
So be careful which region you're in and which story you tell. Salute. So tannin is like the other champion of a great wine, and tannin is that kind of that drying.
Walkiness, like.
It's like that chewiness you get in your cheeks and your gum. So tannin comes from two places. It comes from grape skins or grape stems, but it comes from the grape itself. It also comes from oak barrels.
When we're talking about a beautiful wine like Aglianico that has heavy tannins and is a heavier wine, I love to pair this with a creamier cheese pasta or a cured meat like prosciutto. So next time you're serving a meat and cheese platter, put a bottle of Aglianico on the table. And now back to some Barolo.
The winery is actually located dead smack in the center of the town of Barolo. They focus on like super traditional style of Barolo. It's again, if the color, if you look at it in the glass, it's very light, almost translucent. And the way the way a wine gets its color is when the grapes are crushed and the skins macerate with the juice. All the pigment in the skins is leached into the juice. But Nebbiolo, since it's such a thin-skinned grape, it never makes wines that are like super inky.
For anyone who travels to Italy and wants to spend time in northern Italy, I highly recommend visiting Barolo.
Salute,
Salute.
salute.
Cheers.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito.
We're gonna hit start, sorry. How you doing? Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
Oh, give me a
Cheryl.
hug.
Cheryl's the mayor. Cheryl's the mayor of this store.
How y'all doing, all right?
Oh, everything's great.
I hold it down to
I'm
the
hanging out with
Good.
Dan today, so life's good.
Any troublemakers today?
No,
Just a few.
just a few.
Took care of it.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
All right, good.
Nice and easy. Have a blessed day.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Hello, young man. How are you?
Ciao.
I hope that real.
Ciao. This is Cheryl. Come to downtown. Say ciao, Cheryl.
Ciao, Bella.
Dan, I want to thank you for everything you did today.
Grazie mille. Grazie
Grazie.
Grazie mille, cugino.
Grazie, Dan. Yumi, come on, get in. Give him a nice hug, too.
Thank you so much. It's been great.
Ci vediamo a Italy.
Ci vediamo.
Ciao.
Ciao a tutti.
Piacere.